Okay guys, so today I'm going to share with you one of the most exciting things about shooting film, and that is seeing your developed film for the first time. So, what I've got here is a bunch of slide film I shot over the last couple months, and while I sometimes do E6 at home, in this case it was just easier to take it all to the lab and get it done. I'm just kind of time critical right now. So what I've got here is 7 rolls of slide film. And some of it shot in Europe, some of it shot in Southwest United States, and I'm super stoked to see it. I haven't opened any of these, so this is the first time I'm seeing it, and I'll just share the process with you. All right, so here's my workstation, and what I've got here is a light table. I've got a loop and a smaller loop over there, and a cup of coffee. So I'm gonna open the packages and have a look and see if everything turned out. Okay, so these rolls of film, these 7 rolls of slide film, having been shot 1 or 2 months ago, I'm starting to forget what's on them. To be honest, there's only a few frames I can explicitly remember. Like, I still remember the locations I went to and shooting the camera, but for visualizing what the actual pictures are going to look like, yeah, there's only a couple. One was a roll of Velvia. I was trying to shoot it out of an airplane window over Yellowstone National Park, trying to get a shot of Grand Prismatic, which is, I'm not sure if it's a geyser, but it's a big, colorful, like almost pond or lake in the center. And I remember like wasting a lot of shots of Velvia trying to get a good one. So hopefully I got a good one out of that roll. The other picture I remember was meeting like this young guy from Israel on top of Angel's Landing in Zion National Park. And he was super stoked to see that I had like a large format camera. So he wanted to know like all the workings of it, and I eventually just took a photo with my Hasselblad of him and the camera, and I said I'd email it to him, so hopefully that turned out. But other than that, yeah, no recollection. So we'll look through the rolls. I don't even know which ones are from the Europe trip and which ones are from the United States trip. So it'll be a surprise as I open it up. So let's have a look. So my expectation for these rolls is that most are technically proficient. So proper exposure and focus. You know, if 10 out of 12 are properly focused and exposure's good, I'll be pretty happy. And then out of those, I'm hoping for, 1 or 2 like really good ones. But if I get more than that, that's a really good roll. All right, so that being said, like, let's take a look. A little bit nervous here, but let's start with this guy. Let's make sure. Oh man, that's pretty good. All right, so this roll is from Italy. It's the Italian coast here. Let's see. No. Okay, that's pretty sweet. You guys can see that, hopefully. It's a little bit late in the season in Italy, so there's not a ton of people on the beaches, but it's still pretty warm. What else we got? It's like a little beach resort. They've got them all over the place along the coast. Pretty cool. Oh, this is cool. I like this one. It's like down on one of the breakwaters, you've got a bunch of fishermen and old dudes on bicycles hanging out. Sweet. These exposures, I'm so far pretty happy. They're good. Awesome. Same breakwater here. Yeah, these exposures are money. This is, you can see on the side there, RVP 50, so that's Velvia 50. Yeah, I like this one because kind of fill in the frame with the fishing rods. And then there's this monster bridge in the background that's kind of cool. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, it spans a whole valley back there. So, pretty cool. Same breakwater. I wish this lens would focus a bit closer, but when I get the loop in, you can see. Same sort of photo. Yeah, these exposures are all good. I think I used a circle polarizer here, which kind of can help cut down on some of the contrast, just because slide film has such a narrow dynamic range. If you can kind of neutralize some of those bright spots, it will make for a more even exposure. So this worked really well. It's kind of a pier. What else we got? Oh, this dude. Hopefully he's in focus. Let's see. Yeah. I remember him like coming down the little road there, and he was all smiles. And I really had to try to time it right, because like you can see from the framing, it was a bit tricky. But yeah, that worked out well. I had to use kind of scale focus, or just focus on the ground where I thought he was going to pass by, and just time it when he went by. Man, these exposures are all good. I'm pretty stoked. This one's kind of like a negative space sort of dealio, with the flags blowing in the wind, but I don't know. It's not anything special. This one's kind of cool. It's again one of those kind of beach houses there. I thought the color and the kind of subdued palette was neat, but I don't know. Nothing spectacular. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Yeah. I just remember thinking the color was kind of nice here with the beach in the background, but you know, kind of mundane. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, I saw this path out to the beach, and I thought it'd be neat to kind of fill the frame there in a natural silhouette with those palm trees. Cool. So that's roll one. Pretty stoked on it. Yeah, most of those I'm pretty happy with. Awesome. I'll move on to the next roll. So that's 1 out of 7. So this is one of the 2 from Europe. And so there should be one more European, and all the other ones are from like Arizona, Nevada, southern Utah, like Zion National Park. I think maybe Bryce Canyon has a few. With the Hasselblad, I shoot interchangeable backs. So I've developed all my black and white film. And sometimes I can't remember if I shot just black and white at a location, or if I shot slides, or if I shot color negative. So these are all the slides. All right, roll 2. Oh, sweet. I know where this is. I shot a black and white frame that was exactly the same, but in color it's looking really good. And again, I think that polarizer really helped to cut down on the contrast. This is Grand Tetons there. Let's see if I can focus that. Yeah, really nice sky detail, ground detail. Man, exposures are working pretty well here. The camera I'm using, I don't know if you can see it there, it's a bit dark, is Hasselblad 500 CM, and I put a metered prism on it recently just to help with run and gun shooting, and it looks like the exposures are pretty awesome. Sometimes I use like a external light meter, like a handheld one, but I think these were all with the metered prism, and it looks like it did the trick for these slides. Awesome. I'm trying to think where this is. Oh, this is in Vegas. It was just kind of a cool building with like palm trees and stuff. And I tried to frame it like straight on and kind of, what would you call it? Kind of like balanced. What's the word I'm looking for? Symmetrical. That's it. Cool. So these would be, I guess, Vegas. What do we got here? Oh, just kind of inside a hotel. Again, that kind of balanced symmetry I thought would be pretty neat. We got Treasure Island there, the palm trees and such. Yeah, the palm trees are a little bit dark, but actually, maybe that's just the video. Yeah, there's a bit of detail there. But again, with contrasty scenes, you can see I couldn't have made it much brighter without making the building itself super bright. What would I do here? Some sort of sunset. Oh yeah, this is looking out the window of the Treasure Island. Yeah, a little bit dark, but actually not too bad. It might not look too good in video, but it's not bad. Okay, this one. This one's straight bad. That's underexposed. These are shot at night. I think this is Goblin Valley here. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, we got detail there. So this is Goblin Valley at night. It's one of the, I think it's a state park. And there was a guy down there doing some light painting. He was making an orb. It was someone from the UK. And I did a long exposure to see how it turned out. I think I was trying to get a few shots with this back so I could switch out to a higher speed film. Because Velvia 50 is quite slow for night or long exposure. Yeah, nothing spectacular there. The Goblin Valley, all those little hoodoo kind of geological structures. I don't know what you'd call them. Formations. This one's not bad. I must have left it open for way longer amount of time because this is, again, at night. It was kind of overcast sky, so you can see that it was diffused. But yeah, that's actually a really good exposure for what was probably several minutes, if not like more than 10 minutes. Okay, I guess I didn't finish that roll because this is somewhere else in the southern United States. Actually, now that I think about it, this is the opposite order, so I'm actually going from latest to soonest. That's kind of cool. I kind of like these sort of pictures with showing the natural landscape and then some man-made features like a road cutting through it. Okay, and this is Bryce Canyon here. Awesome. Okay, so this roll's not too bad. I've got some night ones that didn't turn out so well, but some kind of cool ones, just giving off that vibe of the U.S. Southwest there. And this one I like. This one is probably my favorite from the roll. That's cool. All right, next roll. Oh, cool. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's get my loop on here. Okay, so this is the second Europe roll. I'm pretty sure there's only two. This is Milan. I had a bit of a layover there, so I went, I'd been there before, so I quickly ran to town and wanted to check out that main piazza with the church and the galleria and everything.
I remember it was getting kind of dark, so some of these might not be super sharp because I was shooting at a fairly low shutter speed, but this one looks all good. Again, trying to go symmetrical here, and you know, there's so many people there that I was trying to kind of get that picture with them in the bottom of the frame there, rather than cut them off by aiming a bit high. I wanted that kind of them to form a kind of natural ground, so to speak. Cool. The shot's not too spectacular, but I'd shot a frame like this like years ago when I was there, and I was trying to kind of duplicate it because the original one I shot had a big light leak on it, so I was trying to redo it this time and make it work. Okay, so this I was trying to get above all the people that are swarming around there, so I shot the Hasselblad like inverted upside down above my head using like a waist level viewfinder so you can look up into it. So it's a little bit dark because again shutter speed was pretty low and I didn't want to make it even slower. It's a little bit dark here, but might be able to make it work when I scan it. And here's the entrance to the gallery. Okay, not bad. I think a similar one here. Oh, okay, a couple kissing there. That's kind of neat. With a nice backdrop. If anyone knows them, message me. I'll send it to them. They'd probably like that. This one looks a little bit overcooked, like a little bit overexposed. Oh, I see what I did here. Yeah, long exposure. I put like a 10 stop ND on it to try to blur out all the people moving. But you can see this guy on the left like holding still there for, I think it was a minute exposure, because there are people that were riding by on bikes like right in front of me and there's like no sign of them. I think I gave it a bit of extra exposure just to play it safe with the reciprocity and long exposure, but it looks like I gave it a bit too much. Oh, actually, I must have done it twice. Hey, that guy's still there. That's awesome. This one's a better exposure overall. This guy's a little bit bright, but you know what? The people, which is kind of interesting, look relatively well exposed in the building too. This one, where is this? This is the town of Pescara in Italy. Let's see if we can adjust exposure a little bit. Yeah, this one's a bit overcooked too. A little bit bright, but I really like the apartments all have like kind of different colors. I thought it would be neat. What do we got? This is just kind of a cool corner building in Giulianova, the classic Italian kind of city building there, or city apartment. That's kind of neat. What do we got here? Some kind of street photography. Well, the battery just died, so let me swap it out for a different one. All right, fresh battery. Here we go again. Yeah, some sort of street photography there. It's not bad. Kind of interesting. Two ladies crossing the plaza there. Oh, this one's another kind of street shot here. These Italian dudes just hanging out. Classic kind of building behind them. Yeah, popped my waist level viewfinder on for this one and kind of walked by. And I wanted to shoot it discreetly, kind of capture them in their elements. I think one of the guys noticed, but yeah, that's nice. Exposure good too. I'm happy with these exposures. And let's check this one. This is kind of looking down at the town, the coastal town of Giulianova in Italy. that's in the far end. You can see the breakwater there with the where all those fishermen were in some of my earlier shots. I think I shot this first and then went down there. Yeah, not bad. This is kind of mundane. Nothing too spectacular about it. But overall, that's a pretty good roll too. I'm pretty happy with that. Put this back for a sec. Alright, next roll. So far, so good. Nothing too disappointing. I mean, a couple missed shots, but not bad. Pretty happy so far. Oh, I think this is Zion. I just caught a glimpse of somebody here. Oh, cool. This is like an Instagram classic. That's Horseshoe Bend, and that's the large format camera there. Awesome. Super cool. Let's see it. Make sure it's in focus. Oh yeah, we got detail in there. Detail for days. That's sweet. Really cool. I like the cable release hanging there. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. What do we got? Horseshoe Bend is actually, you see a lot of photos of it online. It's pretty tricky to actually get without being super wide angle. This is the standard 80mm for the Hasselblad, and you can see I can capture about half of it. That'd be equivalent to like a nifty 50 on 35mm film or a full frame camera. So yeah, you got to be pretty wide to get it all in. That being said, I kind of tried to shoot some interesting perspectives of it, something where I could fill the frame nicely, even though I couldn't capture the whole horseshoe itself. So yeah, that's nice. What do we got here? Oh, this is Jamie. He's the guy that flew us down to these national parks. He's the guy who planned the whole thing. So big thanks to Jamie, and just capturing him in his element. Actually, I think this one I told him, I saw him there shooting, and I was like, hey man, that looks awesome. I want to shoot a photo of you. Maybe go a bit closer to the edge and then just like do exactly what you're doing, because he was lining up a shot to take a picture of the Page Dam in Page, Arizona. And I think this is the closest he'd get, but that still looks cool. It's nice that we got a bit of shadow detail, highlights. Again, this exposure is bang on. Slides, anyone who's shot slides knows how tricky it can be to get that exposure, but this one's sweet. I'm gonna send it to him. Really nice texture too. Oh, okay. So there's the dam he was shooting, the Page Dam. Yeah, I was down there before. So these go, I'm actually kind of revealing these in opposite order, latest to first, because I shot the dam and then I climbed up for a different perspective and then saw him kind of where I was. Nice, again, good exposure too. It can be hard sometimes to get like darker areas and the sky itself, just because slide film only has a couple stops of latitude. But I think Circle Polarizer helped me out a lot, because you can see sky detail, awesome. We got clouds and we got shadow detail on the wall there. Sweet, and not a ton of reflection off the water. This one was looking down into the dam, some boats ripping through. Kind of neat. Nothing mind blowing. Oh, awesome. This is from this perspective, the dam's just on my right, and this is kind of the base of where the water comes out at a much lower level. Yeah, that one's really nice. I like that. Again, the exposure, I'm pretty hyped because that wall there has got a fair bit of detail still. There's another shot of the dam from a slightly different perspective. I remember this one. Yeah, trying to get, I wish I had a longer lens for this one. This is kind of a butte out there. I can't remember what it's called. but trying to get the moonrise over it. To be honest, I don't think, while the exposure's not great for this, I can't imagine doing much better. Just because the most important part was like the moon, right? So if I exposed the ground brighter, the sky wouldn't be as well exposed. It would be too bright and the moon might get a bit lost in it. So yeah, not bad, but again, a longer lens would have been nice. I've got a lot of empty space here and a lot of headroom above the moon. Oh, this is kind of cool. This turned out a little bit dark. Just a bunch of guys pulled over taking photos on their cruiser bikes. Yeah, I might be able to recover a little bit of detail. It's a bit dark. Oh, here's Jamie again. Let's see if we can brighten this a bit. Shooting some of these formations in Monument Valley. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What do we got here? This is like Mexican hat. That's what it's called. It's like this little hat thing here. This weird spaceship on the rock. It's right next to the town of Mexican Hat, and it's named after that rock formation, apparently. That's what the guy at the local store told me. Cool. Alright, not bad. Decent roll. Some cool ones on there for sure. Yeah, that one's cool. Alright, on to the next one. Cool, let's see what we got here. Oh, what the? This ain't good. Something's happening here. There's some, I don't know if you can see this, but it's like, I want to say light leak, because you can see there's kind of this blue here, and then it's like almost the whole thing has kind of a blue tint to it. This is older E100 VS, so it's Kodak Ektachrome, and they haven't made it for a while, so I'm thinking this is all kind of expired, but to be honest, I've never had problems with expired E100 VS before. I've got a pretty good stash of it, so that's kind of unfortunate. Again, as far as the slides go, they wouldn't look super nice projected just because of this blue cast, but I might be able to make something work when I scan them and recover it so they look a little bit better, more true to life and without that blue cast. This is one of the arches in probably southern Utah, not entirely sure. Actually, if I remember correctly, someone's rappelling off it, that little speck there. It's hard to see. Here, maybe I can get the other loop going. Yeah, looks like somebody. The Colorado River. Some more landscapes. I think that's Jamie doing his thing. Some interesting formations there. It's unfortunate the killer's all kind of messed up. Let's check out this one. This random little plant growing right on the edge of a huge cliff, and then you got the road underneath. It's kind of interesting composition, not bad. Oh, these ones I was really excited for when I shot them. A couple of friends we made standing on the cliff there, and then this is near Gemini Bridges. It's a couple of naturally forming kind of rock bridges, and you can't see them, they're off to my right, but there's a really cool valley below that looked kind of otherworldly. Yeah, that would have been cool. I think I shot one more here. as scans, these will probably turn out okay, but as full color slides, a bit of a bummer. Again, some southern Utah landscapes here. Oh, and there's our friends there. And there's Gemini bridges in the background. You can see there's like that hole there. It's like a natural bridge above it that you can walk across. Awesome. I'll have to dig up their email. I think I wrote it down somewhere and send it to them. Yeah, a lot of landscapes. This was a bit earlier on in the trip, and there's the Gemini bridges there. There's two. There's one kind of behind it that you can't see until you're like walking across it. All right, and there's that valley below. All right, not bad. A little bit disappointed with the messed up color there, but I don't think that's development because the lab's done a good job with other ones so far. So yeah, we'll see. Let's have a look at the rest of the rolls. Oh shit. Okay, so again, it looks like there's a bit of a light leak here. This is the Rolly CR200, and I know I've heard online people say it uses a slightly thinner paper backing, so if you're loading it and unloading it in brighter light, there can be issues with the light getting through the back. It also looks like there's kind of a scratch down the middle of it there. This blue line. That sucks. And again, because it's got a paper backing and it's medium format, it's probably not the camera back. I actually think that might be development. It looks like the leak gets, if you look at the side here, gets better as we go. So hopefully the rest of the roll isn't too messed up. I think, yeah, this is Zion National Park looking down the back of Angel's Landing. So hopefully the ones looking forward are in good shape. You might not be able to tell, but there's kind of a yellow cast throughout all of this. Looking at the video, it doesn't look too bad though, so I should be able to correct for it with when I scan these. But again, that line right down the middle of that, it's kind of bugging me. Oh, cool. This is that guy from Israel with the large format camera. Another shot of the camera in front of the landscape. I should have stopped down a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell what the backdrop is there. I figured lugging this thing all the way up there is worth it to take a photo to commemorate. Anyone who's climbed up this place will know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that's classic kind of Angel's Landing shot. Again, it's kind of yellowish and a little bit washed out. It kind of has a vintage vibe looking at it here, but it's not bad, not bad. Another shot. It's a beautiful place. It's quite surreal from this vantage point. I think that's still Zion there. Yeah. A lot of redundant shots here. I must have been worried that I was gonna screw them up, so there's probably slight variances in exposure. And looking kind of different directions from the top. Oh, this is kind of the way up to the top of Angels, following this chain with kind of cliffs on the sides. A little bit dark. And this was a long exposure. As I was coming down, it was getting dark. So that's way too dark. What do we got here? This is somewhere at the north end of the Grand Canyon, I think, and it was like I guess it was like the first roll on this I just loaded a new roll here and shot one frame, I think. I don't know. This roll, a little bit disappointing. That sucks. Yeah, the scratch went away for these later shots, which is good. Yeah, the color just not so nice. And the kind of light leak. This one was also, I think, expired film. You can see the light leak's particularly bad at the top. And then gets a little bit better as we go here. Yeah, not terrible, but not quite as good as some of the color in the other rolls. Alright, last roll. So hopefully, after the last two, this one's got good color and exposure. No problems. It's looking like it. Alright, awesome. So far, so good. This is, I think, when we first arrived, actually. Yeah, we flew into Canyonlands Field, which is, looks like 18 miles outside Moab in Utah. And I just walked down the street from the airport and took this shot. I kind of like the landscape. But that could also be a bias because it was like the first time I'd seen it. Oh, it looks like this is Velvia 100. So slightly different than the 50, but not drastic. Just one of the planes that we parked next to. I guess I thought the design was cool. The color was kind of cool. The sun was setting at this time, so I thought it'd be nice lighting. One of the guys on our trip. That's awesome. This is somewhere, this stop along the way. I gotta send that to him. That's actually pretty cool. Oh, awesome. This is Jamie fueling the plane en route. I'm trying to think of what this airfield was called, but it was like totally dead. No one was there except one guy. And he was so funny. Just a really personable guy. I think he was maybe a volunteer, just hanging out, helping us fuel. Exposure is a little bit bright here, but not bad. Just pilot Jamie doing the flight planning. That's awesome. That's a really good portrait. I'm happy with that. Pack of smokes on the ground. Super cool. I remember the airfield. It was called Big Piney. And I'm not sure which state. Big Piney. Maybe Utah? Not sure. Maybe Arizona? Oh, this is cool. I like that. That lens flare is kind of sweet. Oh, I wonder if this is, now that we're going back, I wonder if this is on the way down. Because this looks like, this looks kind of like Jackson. And I wonder if the start of this roll is those shots of Grand Prismatic. Yeah, they must be because this is the last roll. Yeah, there it is there, Grand Prismatic. Out the window of the Cessna we were in. Cool, let's see what else we got. Oh, that's kind of cool. Alright, a few more shots of Grand Prismatic. In Yellowstone, that's cool. On the road there. That's a nice frame. Again, a little bit far out, and I wasted quite a few shots on it, trying to get one I'd be happy with. I'm not sure which one I like the best, but you know what? They're all well exposed, so mission accomplished. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, not sure. Cool. Alright, so 7 rolls of slides, and yeah, overall pretty happy with it. I'll scan those up, and for the most part, slides you don't really need to do much to. you can sometimes tweak the color or contrast to kind of make them consistent to how the actual slides look. Most of the rolls pretty happy with, a few disappointments here and there, but such is shooting film. And yeah, some ones I'm really happy with. I really like this guy here. That's sweet. Anyways, feel free to let me know what you think, what photos you like, and maybe I'll make another video just showing off the finished scans, or at least the ones that turned out nice that I really like. Thanks for watching, and take care.